Hey everyone, episode 14. We have lunch with the Iceman. We get to test out a 6-wheel remote-controlled 30mm perimeter chain gun, getting stuck with the check, and story time with BC Sanders. It's gonna be a fun one. I'll see you on the other side.
Welcome to Home on the Range, the official podcast of 1881 Ranch, bringing you the latest on the products, topics, and techniques for the shooting, hunting, and adventure lifestyles. Here is your host, tactical deployment of small arms expert and 1881 Ranch Director, Will Egbert Jr.
Hey everyone, welcome back. This is part 2 of our SHOT Show 2020 post-game wrap-up, episode 14. I'm once again joined by our friend in the studio and president of Hackett Equipment, Greg. What's up, dude?
Happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, I forgot your mic volume.
Oh, happy Valentine's Day.
Oh, Valentine's Day. Isn't that a Hallmark holiday?
Yeah, it definitely is.
I think so. The only thing I think about Valentine's Day is the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Right? And I guess that kind of goes hand in hand with Valentine's Day, though.
Yeah. And shooting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right? All right, so...
we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today.
We do. So, what did I say? Lunch with the Iceman.
Lunch with the Iceman.
Lunch with the Iceman. That 6-wheel remote-controlled 30mm perimeter chain gun. Mm-hmm. That one thing was sick. Chug. Getting stuck with the check, and of course, more story time with our friend BC Sanders.
Yeah. This sounds like it's going to be a roller coaster.
Yeah, or a what do they call it? A drunken nightmare and whatchamacallit across the border in Tijuana. Waking up drunk in Tijuana.
Yeah.
How'd I wind up here? All right, so no baby octopus this time. We got that on the last one. Greg, you had your side of the... I'm going over this. All right, here we go. You had your side of the show to do. We met up a few times.
Yeah.
We had
This was like an incredibly different experience for me too. Like,
well, this was your first SHOT Show, right?
It was my second. Last year we had a booth at the pop-up preview, and that was incredible. But this year I was doing more face-to-face meetings with companies who had booths, and I felt like I got more business done this year actually. So
yeah,
I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah,
that's good.
And we always bumped into each other, like, once, twice, 3 times throughout the show.
Totally. I think we had a blast too. Meeting a bunch of different people and stuff like that.
It's incredible the quality of people you meet too. Like, you don't really know who someone is, until you sit down and talk with them for a little bit, and it's like, oh my God, you're that guy, like I read your magazine or whatever, Yeah,
that's always a lot of fun. We had some killer celebrity sightings this time. That was really fun.
Did.
Yeah. So the first off, right? I mean, this is kind of one of those jokes that I always play on folks, but
I'm ready.
Seriously though, we had lunch with the Iceman.
Yes, we did.
Big Chuck.
Big old Chuck. He was wearing a fanny pack too.
He was. I poked him about that. He didn't quite know if I was serious or if that was just like, are you seriously that mentally deficient that you're gonna make fun of me with my fanny pack? I'm Chuck Liddell. I'm gonna hand you parts of your body back.
Exactly. Yeah.
I was like, man, I'll take you right now. That dude just gave me the weirdest look. Like, are you off your medication, or do you not know who I am?
Yeah.
That was funny. That was great.
He clearly knew that you were just as crazy.
I think that's what he was like, looking at me like, do I? Or is this the one where I finally lose?
Right.
Yeah, it always runs around the back of your head. You're like, is this the one that I kind of wind up in the hospital over?
Right.
Because you never know. You never know. All right, my notes are all over the place on this one. Where do you want to start? You want to start with some pistols?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. I saw two. Well, here.
What were you unimpressed with? Because, there's a lot of impressive things there, but...
I went over that in part 1, which
Okay.
you weren't here for, but that was the Glock thing.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times can you build the same gun that looks the same as everything else that you built before it, just with finger grooves, without finger grooves?
Yeah.
And continually make Kool-Aid that people drink. Like, I don't get it. Like, I'm waiting for something, a dramatic departure from what they've done.
Right. I don't think that's going to happen.
And they could still do it. Like
They could.
They could slab side that thing. They could put 45-degree chamfers on it. They could do, a round barrel instead of a square and still use the same Glock mechanism that everybody loves.
Yeah.
But they don't. Guston just likes driving around in his plane and parking the tail cone over, the drive over Las Vegas Boulevard.
Right. Was there anything that really stuck out for you? For me, I really liked... I didn't get to hold one until SHOT Show, but the Canik TP9, specifically the Elite, more for carry.
I never got to that. I never got to it, and it was one of the ones I really wanted to check out, but I'm sure you're going to get one pretty soon.
I'm going to get one pretty soon, yeah.
So I'm going to definitely paw that thing a few times.
Yeah, and the reason why I think it's pretty popular now is because of the trigger, and also the price point. You really can't beat it, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like... The quality you get like the Glock quality. A lot of people even compare it to like Walther too, for like $200 less, and the trigger is just impeccable on there. So
well, even if it was the same price as a Glock, I'd still be all over it.
Definitely
for one simple reason, and that's it just fits better.
Do you conceal carry with a red dot on?
I do.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I do. And then I also conceal carry with no sights.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, I mean it's just to me it's one of those things. Like once you're at a certain level of shooting, and not to say that it's better or worse than anyone else, but once you're at a certain level of shooting, your understanding of mechanics changes.
Yeah.
And I shoot with both eyes open, and I focus on target. So I'm looking through the gun, and I've never had an instance where it ever did anything but put rounds on target.
Yeah.
Accurate rounds on target. So
well, when you're making elk tacos as good as the tacos you made me tonight, I feel like your awareness and presence just kind of increases, you know what I mean?
My woosah.
Yeah.
What is that? What would that be? What is the word? Come on.
Woosah sounded cool.
Yeah, I said that because Chris gets a little off the end, and I keep telling him, woosah. Like the whole Will Smith and Martin Lawrence thing, that was...
I saw when you were making the food for me, even though like we were having a conversation, you were taking like good care of how you cut things, and were like smashing, everything. Like
smashing that.
I was like, man, this guy, he's got like the technique down and everything, man. And I could tell you were like in like your Zen state too,
I really enjoy cooking.
Yeah, and that's I could tell.
And one of the things at the ranch that we're center everything around is that not last year. Was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. We were out at Vegas Gun Club.
Okay.
For the big machine gun shoot and all that other stuff. And we're out there on the range, and they've got a whole bunch of people serving tacos, and they're very nice tacos, a very nice plate of food.
You can never go wrong with tacos.
No, especially if it's nice. I mean, they had some really nice pinto beans, so it was somebody took some time to prepare that stuff. And to me, just watching everyone stand around, and have a fun evening shooting, enjoying some nice food, and just being able to fill your belly and relax while you're on the range. It transcends to a different, what do you call it? It's a different experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to the gun range, hammering out some rounds, and get back in your car and drive home and not talk to anybody.
Yeah.
It's a much different environment. And if you can center anything around food, I think it works.
Right.
It's a much more relaxed environment.
It's like the common, ground there.
Mm-hmm. And I like doing things that are, especially dishes that are like down to earth.
Yeah.
Basic things like my garlic, belly bomb hash.
Ooh.
That is just one of those things that you just rework, and when you're done with it, it's such a simple dish, and so like ratatouille, that type of thing.
Sure.
It's just simple food, and then when you change up the ingredients a little bit, your preparation's a little different. It all of a sudden becomes very elegant.
Okay.
And like, wow, that's nice. You pause for a second.
Yeah. You know what's interesting is that since it is Valentine's Day, I see a lot of ranges having like date night, at the range, and they either like cater or make food for like the couples that
really?
go to the range. And I
That's
thought that
nice.
was an interesting idea.
Huh.
Yeah.
Good.
Date night at the range.
Date night at the range. That'd be good because we can do a whole Valentine's Day thing for you and your sweetie.
Yeah.
And so on and so
If
forth.
there's tacos involved.
Well, maybe we'll step it up a little bit. But no, I really enjoy cooking. It's one of my it's making custom guns, doing the laser engraving or the Cerakote or anything like that. It's the same thing as cooking. You're working with your hands. You're trying to create
Yeah.
a piece of artwork, and you're going to ultimately consume it or ultimately take the gun out and beat the crap out of it. So you want it to be nice, and you want to be able to make sure that it functions well and does its thing. So
You know what I could tell from your cooking is that you took something very simple. You know, like literally we had ground elk meat, white rice, tomatoes and onion, and like a couple seasonings in there, right? And you made it.
yeah, very little.
You made it taste like so good. I
That
couldn't
came from the
believe it.
carrots. That's that Nicaraguan trick.
Oh,
Ah,
I like that, yeah.
Yes, my time in Central America taught me a little bit about different styles. Of
yeah.
cooking.
And the whole time you're telling me all these crazy stories about how you were gallivanting around the world.
Hey, bud, dude, you can't have one of those everywhere you go.
Yeah,
It's working pretty good. That was fun. I had a lot of fun growing up. That's for sure.
that's cool.
But the cooking is something that we can bring in to everybody at any given time,
Absolutely.
and no matter who you are. You just have to be a little more, maybe don't ask what the meat is.
Sure.
Unless you're adventuresome. But I don't think that if anyone sat down tonight and ate that taco bowl or that burrito bowl and they didn't know what that meat was, that they wouldn't be like, oh my God, that's gross.
No way.
No, it just had a very distinct, it wasn't gamey or anything.
No, not at all.
It was just, and whatchamacallit, I learned that a long time ago with certain types of game meats that you throw a spoonful of hot sauce in it, changes everything, takes some of the gaminess out.
That's a cool trick, man.
It blew my mind. I was like, what? Just hot sauce? That's simple? And that off departure from normal cuisine cooking.
Sure. Yeah.
Say, hey, Gordon Ramsay, would you put some hot sauce in that? He'd look
Yeah.
at you and be like, oh, bro, yeah. And he'd just absolutely stick a knife in you.
Yeah.
But no, it completely changes that flavor profile, takes away most of that gaminess and that smell, because they're free-range animals.
Yeah.
Have you ever cooked grass-fed beef?
Yes. Yep.
Definitely got a smell to it.
Yeah.
My kids don't like it at all. No, whatever. But
You grow into it.
Thanks for right. Thanks for that. That was a really good.
No, thank you.
That was a really good compliment. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It was a nice meal tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Even Chuck Liddell would have been impressed with the meal.
or I had to beat his ass. You're gonna like this, or I'm gonna beat you down right now for everybody. Are you off your medication?
Yeah. I guess at Media Day at SHOT Show, they had a whole bunch of food trucks there. And even when we went to the Rifle Dynamics event, they had the food trucks too. And I thought it was pretty good, actually.
I was spreading the bad rumor, I guess, that you're going to get sick from the
from-
food
yeah.
truck. But it was actually a story that was, when you have a little too much to drink, you get the stories mixed up or your time and place mixed up. Not that happens to me. But I got sick from two distinct food trucks. And one was in a dry lake bed in Mormon, Arizona.
Oh.
The Mormon lake bed in Arizona at the Overland Expo one year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was horrific. That whole night and next morning. And you're in the middle of the desert, basically.
Yeah.
And there's everyone's waiting for a porta potty, and it's just a wreck.
Oh,
in there.
no.
It was a wreck, dude.
Oh, God.
And then there was another one at a knife show. And it was a great tasting meal. It's just something was off, and it just wrecked me the entire way out of Minnesota driving home. And I literally had to stop every 40 minutes to an hour.
That's a pretty sad car ride.
Thank God I was by myself, because I don't think anyone would want to put up with it. Because I was like, oh my God, start finding the toilet. And I'd run in and be like, oh, I'm definitely not going in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun. The Rifle Dynamics thing is always centered around food. That was fun.
They make some good guns, by the way. I was really impressed with what
Did
they
you like
had.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do nice work.
The amount of AKs popping up now.
We were talking about that on the last episode.
Okay.
We think that this is the year of the AK.
This is the year the AK.
This is the year the AK kind of gets its foothold and really starts to, you
saw
transcend.
it trending last year, man.
Yeah, it started last year. It was still kind of very underground, and people were like, "Oh, why do you want that piece of crap?"
Right.
I'm like, it's really not a piece of crap. I mean, even the shitty ones are. They go bang.
Yeah.
Oh, the yeet cannon goes bang.
Right.
Make fun of it. Oh, speaking of, I can see your hat. That just dawned on me.
Yeah. I picked up this the High Point hat at SHOT Show, and I really like the way it fits me, so I keep wearing it. I'm not a guy who gets embarrassed easily, so.
So, for those of you that don't know anything really about what goes on at SHOT Show, there is an underground world of media / I guess they're media people or, reviewers. I don't know what you'd call them, but we talked about this briefly in the last episode, in that it's turning into this sort of cosmic circus of,
it's a charade, really.
I got a media badge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You made 100 videos in your mom's basement with a sheet behind you, and now you're, you got a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Yeah, kid, you really know your way around the industry.
Yeah.
But the amount of people doing just patch snatches.
Oh, yeah.
It's disgusting.
Yeah,
It's
so
like,
a few things on that. We got into the patch game recently with the rifle burrito, and we started incorporating that with our patches. And some of these are coveted, so we decided to do a scavenger hunt around SHOT Show. And there was one guy who was just like following us around. I don't know if he was like hiding behind corners or what, but the whole point of it was that they would take a picture and post our patch on Instagram when they found it.
Right.
But it was the same dang guy every time.
Oh, he was ghosting you, dude.
Yeah, and wait till
Totally ghosting you.
Definitely wait till NRA. I remember last year, like now NRA is open to the public too, right? So at SHOT Show, like patches are a big thing, but when you go to NRA, people are just snatching them everywhere, kind of like trick or treating. you know?
It really does. It turns into that, and then they just start layering up their wall with Velcro and just start sticking these patches everywhere. It's cool. I mean, it's really fun, but it almost turns into a circus event.
It kind of like gets marginalized in a way, like the fact that like people are collecting like thousands of these.
Yeah, and the only reason they're there is to grab patches.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not there to do anything or talk or get the word out about your product. No, they're just there to grab your patch.
Yeah, and when I had a booth at NRA last year, like like half the people that came up just like snatched a patch and ran.
I see a lot of guys. They do a patch for a patch type thing.
Yeah, which I think is cool.
Yeah, that works. I think that works.
You can trade up that way. Mm-hmm. There's some cool ones out there.
All right, so we started a little bit with guns. The first thing that I really go back to, and it wasn't a pistol. Well, there was one pistol, right? The Ruger 57.
Yeah. Yes.
I've always liked the 5.7 round. Mm-hmm. I think it's brilliant. It's awesome. Yes, get me some. I love that little...
Not a whole lot of guns were made for
P90.
this round either.
No, it's just a P90. I mean, that's all it was there for, and we can never own a P90 unless you SBR it, and then you can have some fun with it. But in Illinois, you can't, but... Side note, if you want one, you can get one and keep it at the ranch.
Yeah. I really like that whole concept of like, keeping the guns at the ranch all secured and safe, Yeah,
I mean,
guns you can't have in Illinois necessarily.
Yeah, and it's not a big deal. It's a bunch of paperwork because it's got to be part of the corporation, and so do you. But nonetheless, keep it all legal. So the Ruger 5.7 pistol is a stark departure from the silly pistol that FN. And I like FN. They make some nice firearms. Everyone always says they get a bad rap because of like, oh, what were they thinking and why did they do this and why did they do that? Like their new precision rifle. Mm-hmm. It's got a grip safety in it. Why would you do that? You can't have, but I guess there's a delete kit for it and everything, but
a delete kit.
But the SEALs wanted this. The only reason that grip safety is there on their precision rifle is some SEAL wanted it.
Oh.
And that was his requirement for guys because he didn't want a boom to go off by accident.
So I guess we're mass producing these now because one person wanted one.
Well, that was the contract. So the only reason the gun exists is because the SEAL team guys wanted it, and that's how they wanted it. So in order to not make two guns, they make one gun.
Yeah.
Well, you can turn it off, but still, it's kind of a goofy big lever and pad in the back. And so if you don't understand gun designing on the FN side and why they do it and where it comes from, then yeah, it looks silly. But I got to say to you, that 5.7 pistol that they've got, I don't care who asked for what. You could have put it in a better package, a better looking package, and a better feeling package. Because it just feels like a toy.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, it feels like a toy.
Yeah.
And
you don't want that to protect yourself either. Like,
nah,
you know.
I feel like I've been taken for a cheap hustle. You know, I'm back in Tijuana, and you know, like I paid for this, and I got what? No, where's the door?
Right.
But they could have done a whole lot better because FN's good at designing. The new FN 509 looks nice, feels nice in the hand. It's got good ergonomics, good features. But I don't know what they were thinking with that other one. So when Ruger came out with their 57, even though I cannot stand some of the management in Ruger, some of those guys, I scratch my head and whatever. I saw that and I was like, oh, yes. I want to see this.
Yeah.
Put it in my hand and I'm like, oh, you will be mine. That is my new carry gun.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what the 5.7 in round is, and you don't know why you would want to carry a 5.7 round, just go talk to Tim Kennedy.
Right, exactly.
He's in the same mindset that I am. Like, oh no, this is the round.
There's a lot of guns for me where I was really excited to hold, and pet and things like that.
Pet, I like that.
And one of them being the Colt Python, but
really?
Well, hang on, let me finish.
Oh, okay.
So when I picked it up, like my dad and my grandpa always bragged about this thing growing up, and my uncle had one, and he was like the man because he had one, and so there's kind of some nostalgia there. But I picked it up and I'm like, I actually don't like it at all. Like it just wasn't for me, But I hate when that happens. Like that happened with the Walther PPQ for me too. Just I don't know. I just get really excited about something, and then when I go to hold it, it's just kind of like lackluster a lot of the times.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I came from the side of my first Colt wheel gun.
Ooh, bless you.
Oh, that shot flew is still hanging up. No, I'm kidding. The first thing that I had was a King Cobra.
Ooh.
And all nickel. And that was my 357 wheel gun that I carried in Montana. That was big and heavy, and it was stupid, but I was a young guy. And
there's still something about it, right?
Yeah, I like the 6-inch barrel.
Yeah.
All chrome, shot like the Dickens, boy. I mean, it was just very accurate. I like the way the cylinder cylinder was recessed and the ammunition just fit in there just right. And I really like the big, wide hammer. Had a nice rounded feature to it. I mean, they spent a lot of time with it. The grips on the old King Cobra were beautiful. They fit well. Nice Packmeyers, the grooves and stuff like that. At the time, it was very popular. I did not like the Python. I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. My dad had the Python, and I'm like, nope,
not for you.
Absolutely not.
Interesting.
Now, I don't like the Cobra. I like the Python.
Oh, you like the Python.
I don't know what's happening as I get older. There's things. And, was I talking about it with Doug? Oh, I forget now. I think I was talking with Doug Turnbull. He caught me in the hallway on our way to breakfast one morning, and he and I were talking again. And I said, I really want a 4-inch or 3-inch revolver.
Yeah.
A cowboy gun. And I said, man, I don't know what it is, but blah, blah, blah. The gun you showed me at NRA last year, and I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
And it's the new Ruger Vaquero. Of course, Doug at Turnbull Restoration, they color case art and everything.
Is that still single action too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And it's got a bird's head grip. So
my dad would like that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So he'd love this. I gotta show you a picture of it. And it's got the old Bisley hammer.
Ooh. Okay.
So I mean, it is really really unique looking. And I was playing with something similar out of Taylor, and I'm just like, I'm in love with this thing. It doesn't need a long barrel. And I'm just like, huh. So I find myself going back to what I saw my dad always lusting over. And I'm like, why do you like that stupid thing? And now all of a sudden I like that. And so it's really a strange dichotomy when you find yourself living one way being the same person, but all
Yeah.
of a sudden your tastes take a dramatic and stark deviation from where they used to be.
You know, in a sea of where there's like these plastic black guns everywhere now, you know, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air to see some innovation on the revolver side, at least.
Did you feel the trigger on it?
No.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's modern manufacturing, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we're separating by, what, 80 to 90, 2000, 2010, 2020. Sorry. So what is that? It was 1990, right, or 80?
I don't know when they discontinued
Let me
it,
see,
but-
like 80s, right? 80 to 90, 2000, 10, 20. You're talking about 40 years.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Whoa.
Reality check.
Whoa. I got to back up a minute
Yeah.
here.
My first gun was a Smith & Wesson 357. Was it 686 plus P? So it had seven rounds in it. Yeah.
Interesting.
Or 686 plus 1 or something.
I could
like
never
that.
keep up with the nomenclature
Yeah.
at Smith. I just never
Man.
paid attention to it.
But I really like, I don't know. I like it.
That's
I like that's my first gun. But
what did I, well, we won't get too far past that, but
yeah.
we'll stay away from the.
We always seem to go on these crazy tangents.
Yeah. It's like, why do we even tell everybody what we're going to talk about? We should just say, like, okay, we're going to talk. Yeah, but that was really cool. Doug and I talked about that, and I saw something very similar over at Taylor & Company. But the Gunworks rifles, they were really special. They just keep getting sexier and sexier. And I never used to like a bolt-action rifle. I always wanted semi-auto, and
Yeah.
I gotta have a military-style rifle. And now I find myself like, I'd rather have the new SIG bolt gun than anything else. No ARs, no 30 calibers, no crazy 406 Shitaks, nothing like
Yeah.
that. That's what I want right there. It's just a really cool bolt gun. And the whole titanium thing and carbon fiber over Gunworks and the way they're doing their machining and all the angles is super sexy. Just
You know when someone's paying attention, you know?
you do. Their mounts and everything are just really a great bunch of guys. And they're also going to be part of the ranch. So that was to have them.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, to have them kind of like pick their head up and be like, oh, yeah, we're on board. No problem. yeah, we're there, dude. And I was like, what? Really? And they're like, oh, yeah, no problem. We'll get you all set up.
Like a prairie dog coming out of the hole. What?
What? Poke my head up? What? And that to me, they're very refined, but yet they're very elegant, sleek, modern lines, kind of like some of the new Benelli shotguns and things like that are
Yeah.
coming out. Very distinct patterning and lines.
Now, there's some other products you saw that were pretty cool, right? We listed a whole bunch off, like that shovel.
Oh, you mean $250 shovel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Yeah.
That was one of those departing moments of sanity. It's from Demos.
Okay.
DMOS. And I got to tell you, it is really cool. I bought it for my truck. Yeah, because we almost got stuck
You
on
need it if you get stuck.
Well, we almost got stuck on the ranch the other day, and
Yeah.
we literally had, my 400 horsepower Tundra pegged. First gear, we'd pop into second, and the truck would just start to dog. We were to the frame rails going sideways. Ryan was absolutely like turning white. He had his hands on the glove box in the side of the the A column, and he's like, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, you're gonna keep your mouth shut and let me concentrate, because it was just like we got sucked in because there's been so much water and stuff.
Yeah.
And on the backside it's really mushy out there. But yeah, so I bought this Demo shovel. Gave it to the kids for Christmas and said, oh, Daddy would really like one of these. And it came in, and it's like really cool.
Yeah.
It's a collapsible shovel in pieces, and you can really dig something with this. I mean, like, this is not an avalanche shovel that, oh yeah, maybe you can dig yourself out of some soft mud. No, you can chisel your way out.
This
of clay.
thing looked like pretty industrial for sure.
Yeah, remind me. I'll show you on your way out today.
Yeah.
It's here. There was that. The Demo shovel was really, really cool. What else do we see? That 5.7 pistol.
Yep.
That is really kind of cool because it's already
You're
set
gonna
up
get
for
one the
sights.
first chance you get.
Totally. I think I might actually go out this week and get one. That new Ruger Vaquero bird's head with the Bisley hammer for Turnbull.
Yep.
That was really cool. It wasn't there, but Doug was there. Let's see, what else did we see? Taylor & Company. If you're not familiar with Taylor & Company, you really got to take a look at that brand. Wonderful, wonderful brand. Lots of different cowboy guns if you're into those types of things. But what I saw is they had a lever action. It was a takedown, and it was a very, very, very nice action.
You showed me a picture. That looked cool.
It's a very nice firearm. I haven't shot it or talked to anybody who shot it, but from what it looks like, it looks very, very nice. And Taylor is also very interested in the ranch, too, so that's kind of how I got introduced to them.
I can see a line of lever actions for the ranch. That'd be sweet.
Oh, that would be sweet. Yeah. Well, Doug's
the
already
buffalo engraved on it?
Yeah, Doug Turnbull's already got his eyes on it.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we've got to do some of those. And I'm like, really? He's like, they had an 1881 Marlin. And I said, yeah, I know, I saw it. And he's like, but it's got some weird, like, lifter in it or something, right? I said, yeah, it does. And he's like, yeah, well, maybe we stay with it. I said, no, let's just take some modern rifles and, get them gussied up, get them all pimped, because we got some high performance, some guys that would really enjoy some high performance lever actions like that, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, what else we got? So we talked about the Gunworks guys. We got those guys. Taylor and Company's lever action takedown. You got to guys check that one out. I don't know if it's new or not, but I'm new to Taylor.
Okay, same here actually.
It's not anything in my wheelhouse that I normally go into a gun shop or look for, and I'm not typically heavy on the cowboy style guns.
I could tell you something that I saw that was really cool, and we're actually winding up partnering with these guys as well, Robinson Armament, and what they did was they combined the AK platform, the AR-15 platform, and the dang thing looks like a scar.
What is it, a Robinson?
Robinson Armament. And one of our competitive shooters for Hackett, he's a competitive shooter for these guys too, and he uses their rifle for all.
Oh, it does look like a scar,
right? It's cool. Like, and I held one. They have like an SBR type version that's like that you can also convert to PCC.
Really?
And it just felt so nice in the hands. Like I couldn't believe how good it felt to me. And
wow, that looks cool. I'm sure I'm like late to the party on this.
I don't think so. Like,
like somebody's going to be listening to this and be like, "Where have you been? You call yourself an expert,
right?" Yeah, I know. Like a lot of the government in Canada uses these guns.
No kidding.
Yeah, and like Paris, like the Paris SWAT team, or like I don't know, something in France.
Oh, so there's plenty of them because they've only been dropped once.
Right. Yeah.
Those poor guys get all of the brunt. But if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah.
I think most Americans have got to focus on what actually happened in history.
Yeah.
And the French weren't so bad. They might be questionable now.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were pretty hardcore fighters back in the day.
I would definitely pay attention to these guys because they have some good things coming, and their designer is just crazy. So.
Oh, yeah, look at that. I'm seeing the XCRL pistol.
That's the small one, right?
Yeah, 5.56.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a 7-inch barrel or 8-inch barrel, maybe a 10-inch barrel.
It's cool, man, and it feels good.
Scar side-folding pistol brace.
Yeah.
Nice. Yes, XCRL.
Yeah, so we're partnering with those guys, and then we're doing some stuff with Century Arms right now, too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good conversation. We'll get to those in a minute.
Absolutely.
The Century Arms Century Arms conversations, that was really fun.
Yeah, I think I saw Ava had a custom AK built by Century that was over there.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. The Gun Funny AK.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if she still hates me. I don't know why she hates me either. It just floored me at NRA. I'm like, why do you hate me? Why do you hate me? Like, why are you giving me a hard time? She's like, I'm like, you do know that I'm Vulture Equipment Works too, right?
That was her first patch, right?
Yeah, it was one of her first patches on the wall, and I'm like, what do you like? Why are you being mean to me? I'm just standing here. I think it was one of those. I think I looked like somebody else, and maybe yeah, she had me confused. That's all. But it was kind of funny at the moment. I did like the new Gerber stuff. They came out with something really cool called the Arm Bar.
Oh,
so it's half of a multi-tool, and it's got a pocket knife in it and a bunch of other things. Okay. They've got 6 different versions of this thing, and it's meant to be a slimmed-down multi-tool, not a pair of pliers, but a slimmed-down multi-tool for your pocket. So you've got a full-size pocket knife, and then a couple other things. So they're kind of going after the Swiss Army stuff, the Swiss Army style. But there's 6 different things. So depending on what your mission of service is or whatever you're looking to do with that, you've got probably an arm bar that's set up for it.
I've always needed something between a Leatherman and a regular pocket knife. Something with a little bit more utility than a pocket knife, you know?
Yeah, this fits the bill. I looked at them, and I was sold, flat out. Because of just that. I never use the pliers part.
Right.
I never do. Now, I do use one pair of pliers.
Unless you got to take a tooth out.
Yeah, right. Or some needles out of your knee.
Right.
You know, some cactus needles out of your knee. Yeah, it's an interesting story for a different podcast.
Oh, gosh.
Everyone came around the side, and I got my pants down in the middle of Montana, and they're like, "What are you doing bent over with the pliers, kid?"
Oh boy. You know, I think you should do a segment on your podcast on like story time with Will, because like every time I see you, it's like a few new stories, and everything's crazier after the next.
I can't believe how many crazy things I've gone through in my life.
You've lived 1,000 lives, I'm convinced at this point.
Well, I might. Yeah, I might have. There's just some crazy stuff, like kicking Dave Savini out of a bar. You know. Yeah, he's a special effects artist. So when I went to school in Pittsburgh, it was kind of funny. He walks into the bar and he's like macking on all the young girls and everything. I'm like, whoa there, old timer, you're out of here. And he's like, pardon me? And I'm like, you heard me, slush head. You know, like latex head. I'm like, get out of here. And he's just looking at me like, how do you know who I am? Like, why are you talking to me like this? I'm like, dude, you're too old to be in here. And everyone at the bar was like, you're kicking Dave Savini out, or Tom Savini. And I'm like, you're kicking him out? I keep getting him mixed up with the guy here in Chicago.
Oh, yeah, right?
And I'm like, yeah, why not? He's kind of creeping on the girls, you know?
We got to keep a good environment here.
Right, yeah, exactly. We got to like maintain.
Yeah.
I guess there are kind of creepy, not creepy, but crazy stories. Yeah. All right, so the $250 shovel. If you guys need a demo shovel, that's where to go.
And have some extra cash laying around.
Yeah, just a little bit floating around. We talked about the Ruger Vaquero. That was kind of fun. What else was cool was I spent some time in the Remington booth. With, I'm really trying to stop saying I don't know why.
I don't think you say a lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. So I'm going to try and starting right now in this kind of late, right? Episode 14. And you're like, I'm going to start watching my grammar. But I was hanging out in the Remington booth for a meeting. And as I was going through a lot of the lever action guns and some of the weird stuff, they've got some nice stuff over there too. Like their custom shop. Their custom shop is tight. Despite what you think about Big Green, their custom shop's pretty tight.
Okay.
Yeah. So while I was there, I ran into Michael Bain from Shooting Gallery. And we started talking about some things that we can't get into on officially yet. But
sure.
We had a great conversation, and he and I were looking at a couple firearms and looking at this and looking at that and talking with the guys at Remington. And there's some new stuff coming through the pipeline in the custom house that you really kind of have to like go searching for. And I got to tell you, I'm like tickled. It's like, woo! Like they have a really nice lever action, gussied up with leaf sights and all sorts of stuff with color case hardening, and it's a field serviceable gun, meaning fielding gun, so that you don't have to really worry about it. It's not a collectible item.
Yeah.
By any means. I mean, it still costs a fair amount of money.
Collector's cost, but it's a tool.
It's still a tool. Let's get realistic, guys. I mean, that's one of those things. So that was kind of notable. Did you check out any of the new clothing?
I stopped at the Under Armour booth, and I saw some pretty unique things there. I saw they had like some new boots out, and as far as like hiking equipment goes, for sure. Yeah.
The new Under Armour, boots that are coming out are really, they're goofy looking.
They almost don't look like boots.
Yeah, they don't. And, there've been a couple of those types of things with big balloon soles and stuff like that they've done. But I got to tell you, these look really cool. And, like, they've refined it a little bit, because Chris and I were trying to get up a couple pair for demo right away.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, hey, I want to try these. And I want to try them right now because I'm going to be on the ranch every day doing construction work.
Yeah.
And I'm in the mud, I'm in the dirt, and I'm climbing around on rocks and stuff. So, hey, let's try this. And they're like, oh, no, they're super limited right now, and we don't know when they're going to hit production. And that. So there was a little bit of a letdown. But their Ridge Reaper line has got a new Alpine line, which is really cool. It's the whole system that fits with the Gore line, that they got the Gore Pro line and stuff like that. So I'm looking at Under Armour again for like a very...
Back on the radar there.
Back on the radar,
yeah.
Definitely. Back on the radar.
You know what I have to thank you for? And that's convincing me to get technical shoes for SHOT Show. Honestly, I wore them for a week.
I see them in some of the pictures, and I'm like, I was going to say, like, nice shoes, dude.
Yeah. I couldn't be more impressed by these things. Like, I was so comfortable. I walked 12 miles every day.
Yeah, we put about 15 clicks.
Yeah, and I mean, my feet were fine, Yeah. Like, I couldn't believe how well my feet felt after these shoes, wearing these shoes, and I don't know. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good suggestion. Pro tip.
Pro tip. Always
Pro tip
go
for the newbie.
a really nice pair of shoes, and technical climbing shoes or hiking are what they call approach shoes.
Okay.
They're typically pretty robust, and they'll keep your posture. Unlike a running shoe that's very soft, these will help you keep your posture like a dress shoe almost.
Okay. You want to know how much of a nerd I am? I took notes about what to pack for SHOT Show next time because I overpacked this time.
I totally overpacked. But I do that just because, in case I get a drink spilled on me or I get my face slapped and I'm bleeding all over it. Some girl punches me in the nose. I make it sound like we're a bunch of hoodlums, but we're not. I'm being funny.
We got to have fun.
Yeah. All right. So
we're very professional dudes.
So what'd you pick up in your bag for next year?
I'm trying to think. I mean, I packed like 2 outfits for every single day, right? And I'm trying to get to the page here, but it's kind of funny. Okay. Are you ready?
You are so OCD.
Yeah. So 1 collared shirt for each day. Bring suit and tailored jacket, and I brought a jacket this time, and I bought it specifically for SHOT Show, but it wound up not fitting me, so I didn't wear it at all.
Oh, that stinks.
Deodorant. Huh. You would think...
you forgot deodorant.
I did not, but I wrote it down.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Dude wipes. You never know when you're walking around the show and...
No, dude. Yeah. Chappy health.
Yes.
You don't want, I remember...
Chapstick, too. That's another thing.
I had chapstick on all the time. But I kept licking my fingers and licking the guns on display, and I think that's why I got the SHOT Show flu.
Okay.
But, gotta have chapstick because, you're in the desert.
Yeah.
And I think the first thing you have to do when you hit SHOT Show or when you hit Vegas is you have to pound down some electrolytes and start working on that for the first 6 hours. Maybe
emergency every day too, man.
Yeah, I was using Mountain Ops Ignite.
Yeah,
same type of thing, just a little bit heavier on the vitamins and stuff. But yeah, you got to definitely pound a bunch of water with electrolytes, not just Gatorade. That's I don't believe in that. I think it's got too much sugar and stuff. But you don't want to be buying stuff while you're there,
right?
And your thing, the dude wipes. Here's a pro tip for anybody that's doing a lot of trade show stuff and they're entertaining or anything like that. Always carry some of those tucked away in your suit, in your sport coat.
Yeah, man.
Because I got to tell you, I remember an old skater T-shirt that they used to sell in Thrasher magazine. It said, and it had a picture of Elvis, and he was singing. It was like on a red shirt or something. It was all blacked out, and it said Elvis had a stinky butt, and it had the waves coming up from the back of him and everything. And I just always stuck in the back of my head, like, I don't want to have a stinky butt. I don't have swamp butt. So that goes with everything. And the Rangers that I was hunting with a lot when when we were operating Trident down Fort Benning, they saw me with a thing of baby wipes in my day bag. In my 3-day bag, and they're like, "What's that?" And I'm like,
"This will change your life."
I'm like, "They're baby wipes." And he's like, "What? You're such a sissy." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want swamp."
Yeah, right.
And then all of a sudden, it was like, "Hey, can I have some of those?" I'm like, "What? Now you want to go run behind the tree with a baby wipe? Oh, what do you do?" He's like, "Oh, it makes total sense now." And this was back some years ago, but. Always got to keep some dude wipes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know how we got on this. Why are we talking
I don't know.
about
Shot show clothes. I don't
Shot
know.
show clothes. All right, so we had some notable sightings, right?
There was a lot, like the celebrity sightings.
The celebrity
I saw,
sightings.
Chuck Norris.
Well, did
Lou
you notice?
Ferrigno.
Lou Ferrigno, definitely. But did you notice why Chuck Norris?
He had a wet leg.
Why he came back to the Glock booth so pissed?
No.
I kind of tinkled on his boot. It was by accident, totally. I ran in there and just happened to be Chuck Norris standing, and I had no idea what it was. And I guess I missed or splashed, and I got a little bit on his boot. Oh, he was livid. If he wasn't 80 years old, I'm sure he'd have tried to give me a boot to the head.
Yeah.
But he was livid. And I can't imagine why, like, it's just a little pee. I mean, can't imagine why he would be mad at me.
Right.
Get in the toilet next time, youngster.
I remember being in the SIG booth with you, and I'm like, man, that looks like Keanu Reeves. And you're like,
Yeah, you
dude,
got me.
you're like,
Totally
dude,
got me with
that does not look like
You're like,
Keanu Reeves.
look, it's Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah. The guy totally looked like him.
He did. He more looked like a Romanian or Bulgarian version of
A little more
John
haggard,
Wick.
but yeah.
Yeah, a little more haggard, but definitely could have been a John Wick stand-in.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of that, didn't you see the John Wick safe there?
Yeah, that was over at the, what's the company? It's the conglomerate that owns Black Hawk and a bunch of other stuff.
It looked really cool.
Oh, it was really cool. The Bubba Yaga safe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had the gold coins in there and a little leather seat, little leather couch so we could like sit down in a safe and stuff. It was kind of very gussied up with that, like, I think it was after the John Wick 3 movie.
Okay.
With that not lime green, but that Kelly green that was in the safe at the Continental, that type of thing. It was very cool.
I really hope they go Enterprise with John Wick. I really like it.
You think so?
Yeah. I don't know if
some
they are
offshoot
going
movies?
to, but,
Some offshoot movies about all the different,
even like comic books or something.
Yeah, maybe. I think I'd bring back Lawrence Fishburne. I love the bums.
Okay.
I love
There
the
you go.
bums. And I especially love the way he was talking to that, like, snotty little girl. And he's like, this is mine, and you don't ever want to come down here.
Right.
Yeah. So leave me alone. I thought that was a good twist in the movie. All right, so we told you guys about the new, it's not new, but the Ridge Reaper stuff.
Yep.
They've got some expansion on that, the new boot. Our celebrity, that's where we're at. The celebrities. All right, so
Is there anybody else you saw?
one of the guys, one of the owners of South County Guns.
Ooh.
Yep. He had drinks with us that night, too.
He did.
So for those of you that are in the Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area, if you want to really see a cool gun shop.
Pristine.
Yeah, it's very, very clean.
Well thought out.
Well thought out. I have to agree. And just the architecture that was built into it, like you see like Easter eggs everywhere in the structural steel.
Yeah.
And just
Absolutely.
everywhere, because it was all custom made by this guy. And it's just amazing. And they also have 2 laser booths over there that I think we should start doing some training classes with before the ranch is up and moving. They got some blowback pistols and some regular click pistols that shoot the laser.
When we demoed the laser booth the other day, like some of that, like the training caught me off guard completely. Like,
Oh yeah, the guy in the bank smoked
oh,
that
yeah.
girl, and you're
Yeah.
like, "What? What do I do?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Shoot him!" That was awesome.
yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We have a lot of fun with that. Sometimes I have to watch myself though, because most of those training scenarios and that are in there, I'll go more on the aggressive side with some of that stuff, and then we use the blowback pistols, and we'll close the door, but still they're customers in the shop, and I'm running from side to side in that room, screaming, yelling, "Drop the weapon! Now!" And just yelling and screaming, move back behind me, drop the weapon, boom, boom, boom. And he's just yelling and just going bonkers. And people are like looking in that little window like, what the hell's going on in there? Oh my God, he's shooting at somebody. He's yelling. Like, because I'll throw chairs and stuff like to get out of the way because the chair's in my way. And I'll move
Something like that would make
barricade.
people want to try it out, though.
I think so.
If they see you in the room, I think.
Yeah, well, that's also one of those things that somebody looks in the room and goes, oh, this guy's out of his mind. I don't be anywhere near this. And don't look in that room, kids.
Yeah. All I noticed that their selection of rifles on the wall were pretty cool too.
They did. They've got some really cool stuff that walks in that door sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a honey hole. You introduced me to somebody really cool that I had a ton of fun.
Yes.
Had a ton of fun with, and I'm kind of skipping ahead here because I want to talk about this.
Let's skip.
So, Ken Ross from Century Arms.
Century Arms. He's their marketing guy.
Yeah. He's an actual artist. And what I thought was cool is that he's got a passion for firearms, right? He likes guns and shooting.
And he's a creative, too.
He's an artist, and creative. And he's actually able, kind of like Altenda, he's able to work in the industry full circle.
Yeah.
To him, full circle.
Yeah.
And a nicer guy, he was just a wonderful dude.
Absolutely.
Wonderful dude. He had an awesome backstory, which I don't really remember too much because that was the night that I was getting the chills.
Yeah.
You remember that? I was all bundled up underneath the heater.
Right.
And I was getting the coronavirus chills.
Yeah, he grew up in Flint, Michigan, right?
He did.
His dad was the painter.
Yeah. His dad still lives there.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And his dad's a classically trained painter.
Yeah.
Like, he's an artist. Mm-hmm. So we have to take
He could go mainstream if he wanted to, kind of thing.
Yeah, it sounded like from Ken that if he moved out of
Flint. Yeah.
He'd make it big.
Yeah.
So one of the things I'd love to help Ken with in that is get some of his dad's work. Have him do some stuff of the silos on the farm. Just do some whatever. Because he's got a very distinctive, what is that, 1940s, 50s, kind of like, I mean, I don't know what it is. I'm not an
You have an eye for this sort of thing, though.
Yeah, but I'm not an art major, so I don't know what that period is and what.
We don't have to pretend like we know either. I mean, it was cool art.
It's very nice.
You know?
It's very clean, very professional, very, and it wasn't like Jackson Pollock, like he just threw up all over a piece of canvas. The man is a talented painter.
Yeah.
He showed me, Ken showed me some of that stuff, and I was blown away. And Ken's no slouch himself.
I know. We need to get Ken on the podcast too, because
So, hey, Ken, if you're listening. I mean, can I do? No, it doesn't work out.
do the button.
There you
Ken,
go. Come on.
Can you hear me?
Return the call. I haven't even reached out to him yet. I've just been so swamped. But yeah, that was something we talked about because he has got a great backstory.
He does, especially in the firearms industry, and he was one of our very first customers at Hackett too, and he's got 2 Big Berthas. But like he worked for Athlon Outdoors and a few other companies too, and the people he knows and the amount of knowledge he knows, he's very humble about it, and he was really cool to connect with, absolutely.
Yeah. He freaked out a little bit when I took out my stiletto to cut the Dago cigars open.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, huh? It's kind of funny. I'm like, what, you don't carry one of these?
Well, in that same conversation, we were sitting there with BC Sanders from...
Very true. That was the
skill set.
Yeah, that's the second day, though.
At
that point, yeah, so I was kind of waiting for that. Right,
okay.
So the let's see, we had lunch with the Iceman, one of the guys from South County Guns, Ken Ross. That was a really cool. That was a really good capper on a trip. Talking to Ken. I enjoyed that, and I think we're gonna have a lot more fun.
Yeah.
Talking with Ken and
NRA.
Do something. Oh, definitely NRA is gonna be nice. Maybe we'll get a bunch of these guys and we'll go for dinner or something.
We should.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But the previous night, we were at that same bar with the guys
Chuck Liddell.
with the guys from Skill Set Magazine. I'm buddies with Jay and Ben, and
cool guys, by the way.
Yeah, very cool guys.
Thank you for introducing me to them.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and of course BC was there.
Yeah,
and I met BC at NRA last year, and the two of us kind of just started talking, and we just like kept talking, and Jay and Ben are like. What's with you two?
You could talk to that guy till 4 or 5 in the morning if you wanted to.
Yeah, and because he and I have got such similar backgrounds, and he's still there, is like it's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
and he's very, very intelligent. And if you have not read one of his articles, out of Skill Set Magazine, you're doing yourself a great disservice. You've got to see it. He from some of the stories that he says about, his wife being an English teacher and the girlfriend at the time, and he didn't want to say a word while he was dating her because he was too worried he was going to be like, oh, these ones and some other stuff like that, and the date wouldn't go very far. I mean, he's got a really cool backstory too, like most of us. He's a very, very intellectual person.
He had a passion for writing, and how he started writing for Skill Set was he wrote them an email. And it was a well-thought-out email, and then they asked him to be a writer. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
I've got some writer friends who, like, struggle for, like, the last, 10 or 15 years trying to get published, and they can't. And this guy sends an email. And he's employed.
But you've read one of his articles, right?
I read 2 of his articles. So one cool thing that he does is that he takes, like, a lesser-known story and kind of, like, sheds light on it. Like, there was, in the Skill Set magazine, there was one about these... middle school kids during World War II who were like causing chaos within like the Nazi ranks. So like, I don't know if it was like Denmark or something or Holland. I don't know. But it was like an occupied city outside of Germany. And these middle school kids wound up getting arrested for all the chaos they caused. And they would escape from jail at night. And by daytime, and cause the havoc they would usually cause before. And then they would slip back in. Yeah, it was incredible. And like just like how he crafts the story and stuff is amazing.
Yeah, it comes from years and years and years of being self-taught.
Yeah,
coached by an actual English professor.
Married to one.
Yeah, right. And now he doesn't. I don't want to say he doesn't need her to do any of his proofreading and everything because he's gotten very well with it, very good with it. But,
even talking with him in person, like, I mean, when all you guys went back, we were still outside talking till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh yeah,
yeah, and I was just so captivated by whatever came out of his mouth. I don't know why.
He's very. I can't say enough about him. He's a great dude.
Yeah.
He's a great dude.
And, I mean, I never read Skill Set until, I met this guy. And I think Skill Set magazine is, like, right up my alley, too, where
it is.
Kind of like all these obscure things that, like, aren't obscure at the same time,
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Oh, damn it. I just closed that. There was two more things. But, yeah, the Skill Set guys, BC Sanders, he's just amazing. Skill Set has proven that print is not dead, and that you can still I guess appreciate like good writing, not just some random blog post that you would see on a website. Yeah, definitely. I mean, Chupa.
Oh, are we going there?
Chupacabra.
The El Chupacabra.
Yes. Get the Chupacabra. What is it? Oh, it's on TripAdvisor.
Okay.
No. Some punk took it.
I think the restaurant's El Diablo and the drink was El Chupacabra.
Yes. Yeah, so this blew my mind because you hit me with this out of the blue with this one. All right, so first day you and I circle back around with each other. Chris and I are sitting there having a
we're kind of a recap of the first day, I think.
Yeah. And I sat down and I'm like, oh, what should I want? What should I get? And blah, blah, blah. And I'm looking for a nice cocktail to start off the evening. And there was the place we met at was inside the Mirage. Mm-hmm. It's all the way over on the side. So when you walk in the Mirage, you have to make a quick left turn and just keep following that all the way left.
Yeah.
And you come into El Diablo Cantina.
Yep.
And real decent, Mexican food. I mean, really nice. They've got a really cool bar with a bunch of tequilas and mezcals. This was
the way the bar was set up was really it was nice,
wasn't
laid
it?
Out, yeah,
nice big paintings on the wall and stuff like that. Good stuff to look at. But the Chupacabra caught my thing because it was just it was some sort of like tequila or whatever. Right when they said it didn't ring as a mezcal or anything like that.
Yeah.
They just said this, whatever this brand was, with fresh lime juice, cilantro, muddled, salt on the rim, and
amazing.
Hang on.
And
plus it had my favorite Spanish word, chupacabra.
Chupacabra, which is a funny idea, in itself.
The goat sucker, the vampire that sucks off the goats.
It's like a dog
awesome.
werewolf combo.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So that thing, and that's when you hit me where you tried it, and you're like, oh, that's mezcal.
Yeah.
And I was like, what?
Dude, mezcal it's made a comeback, and a lot of people think it's like some new idea, but my dad and grandpa, when I was growing up, would take one shot of mezcal before they would do their slow pistol shooting. Like, yeah.
Oh, great.
They said they drank it to calm the nerves. Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I know it's like taboo, and whatever, but like, 30, 40 years ago, like that's what they did. And so back then it used to be really like inexpensive, like probably like
it was rock
$8 a
cut.
bottle.
It was below Jose Cuervo.
Yeah.
Like you saw mezcal and there was a worm floating in it. You were like, ugh.
Yeah, and now these same brands are selling for like $40 to $60. Like it's crazy.
Totally. It's like, coffee.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't know too. Like they think it's made from tequila, but mezcal is like it's like a flower that it tastes like tequila, I guess.
Well, this
More smoky,
recipe
though.
saying the chupacabra has got Casamigos Blanco tequila jalapenos.
Casamigos does some awesome mezcal, for sure. That's George Clooney's brand.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Didn't it have a black label or something? Because
Yeah.
I asked him to see the bottle.
It was a black like slate bottle, and they sold their company for like $800 bajillion. So it's good stuff.
Yeah. I got to go get some this week.
Yeah.
We get some lime juice. Come on. What are we doing tomorrow?
Yeah, I like that. But mezcal's like totally made this like whole new wave across at least Chicago. I'm not really sure in other parts of the country. Chicago is kind of the pioneer of the food scene. But
Oh, is this it? Let's see if I can get this switched over. Isn't it?
I don't see the bottle yet. It's a black bottle.
Oh, but wasn't that it?
Oh, I think that is it. Yeah, they have a higher end one as well.
What's a $52 bottle of booze?
Yeah. So another cool thing you can make with mezcal is like old fashions. They call them Oaxacan old fashions, and Oaxacan old fashions.
right.
Yeah, and it brings like a smoky element to the old fashioned. Perfect complement.
We got to try that.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you could also drink it with ground warm salt and like some oranges. Yeah, I'm serious.
Ground worm salt.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just start chopping off our ears like Toulouse-Lautrec.
Yeah. So if you ever have Mexican night at the ranch, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Count me in. So that was it. That was good tacos, good enchiladas. They had the trio.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken, what was it? Chicken pork? Yeah, chicken, pork, and shrimp.
Okay.
Each one was different. Their mole was really nice.
Oh,
Their
my God, I love mole.
Yeah, that was really nice. Good guacamole. You got to get the smoky guacamole.
Yeah.
The smoked guacamole. And the El Chupacabra cocktail, and that's at the Mirage. So that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
After that, later that next day, I got to meet Jack Carr.
Ooh, tell me more.
It was kind of a brief introduction. It came from the Skill Set guys.
Okay.
And I was talking to Ben, and he's like, "Oh yeah. Don't you know Jack?" And I'm like, "Nope, I don't know him." And he's like, "Oh yeah. You got to know him. And Jack and I were talking for a few minutes, and then his publicist was over and stuff like that. So they took one look at the business cards, and they were like, "What? What is this?" And I'm like, yeah, it's this whole big country club and everything." They're like, "We're in."
Cool.
And I'm like, "What do you mean you're in?" They're like, "Oh yeah." And there's like 6 other dudes or 8 other dudes that we've got that are all like Jack Carr caliber and really good writers and stuff like that. We're totally in. We'll help you with anything you need. I'm like, "What?" So we're getting some really cool.
I love that.
We're getting some really cool names behind us.
Yeah.
And I had no idea that Jack Carr lived in Park City. I wish I'd have known that before I met him or when I met him.
Yeah.
I should have asked him about that.
You guys probably used to egg each other's houses or something growing up.
I didn't tell you about that one, did I?
No.
All right. I launched a trout into my neighbor's cold air return
Oh my gosh.
through my spud gun. This poor trout came out of there at 1,000,000 miles an hour. Here's a tip for anybody living in altitude or visiting altitude. Do not drink heavy alcohol at 10,000 feet.
I can see why.
Don't do it. It's just a bad idea. So a bottle of Chivas Regal later, and a whole day of standing out in the sun, fly fishing.
And a spud gun.
Right. So we've got this little trout, and for some reason, he just didn't look like he was very good eating. We brought him home, and I just looked at it and said, this is gonna be a horrible story to tell, but it's funny. So
we all have a couple.
Yeah, we shoved it in the back of the spud gun, and this other guy furlong was like, "Come on, Billy Jr., do it!" Capped it up, and boom. That was it, bro. It launched across the street, down the road, and right into the side of the cold air return, and looked like the fish was swimming into the fence, into the vents.
I think you put a whole new meaning on flying fish that day.
Totally. It was so bad. I couldn't believe I did that. But in my defense, we'd been drinking all day. But didn't someone just ask me about that? You're like, is there a story that doesn't involve you drinking?
Yeah, it was your wife.
Yeah, well, maybe we should stop there with that one. But
there's a lot of that today, I feel like.
Yeah, there was. There was a lot of fun. Because I think when you start talking about Shot Show, you talk about a lot of characters, a lot of crazy
Shot
people.
Show would be mundane if we didn't incorporate these things,
Yep. I think so. And there was one other thing. So you didn't catch this, did you? Pelican's got some new cases.
I did not, no.
As they got some new rotomolded cases that are just equipment storage lockers, and a whole new series of latches and brackets that go in the back of a pickup truck or on a roof rack. The guy
like a lockbox or something.
It's a lockbox, but it's plastic, so it's lighter weight. But there's a bracket system that goes inside or goes on the rail, like that T-rail that's in most of the new beds, pickup truck beds.
Okay.
And it's a series of brackets that fold up and out of the way. And then you unfold these things, you slide the box in there, and it grabs a hold of the side of the box, and you lock it down. So the thing is not sliding all over the place. And once again, you can lock it down on top of a roof rack or stuff like that. So if you're transporting a lot of gear, like I usually do when I go to the range or whatever, it's really cool to just kind of leave all your stuff in this crate.
Yeah.
Throw it in the back of your truck, lock it down.
Don't
it's
have to worry
not
about
sliding
it.
around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was really cool. It was bolted to the back of YouTube personality. His channel is Last Line of Defense.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Check it out. He's got some great videos.
He's got some really cool camping setups.
He does.
I'll give him that.
Yeah. Well, he's a young guy. He's got a dog and his girlfriend or something.
Sure.
And that's it. So back to the days of living free. I had some pretty cool camp setups too. But yeah, when you have kids and you start getting a little older, things kind of transition.
Yeah, I believe it.
I live vicariously through his videos. I'm like, well, I remember doing that with my Defender. Or being out in the middle of nowhere for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. That was a lot of fun.
I need to do more of that, I feel like.
Well,
I've got an opportunity to do so now, so.
Do it.
I should.
Do it. We gotta...
Tijuana adventures don't sound as fun as this.
Tijuana. So what else have we got? Anything else on your list?
Let's see here. A couple guys that are affiliated with Hackett did some cool stuff during the show. Our main gun show distributor, he linked up with Apex Triggers and is working with them on some stuff. And then our main competitive shooter brought in some new guys for us as well.
Oh,
it was
fun.
He was like a mini celebrity. Like, we were walking around the show like our little entourage.
Oh, that was the guy that you introduced me to.
Yeah, great marketing mind too.
Mm-hmm.
He got into internet marketing before it was cool. So now I feel like every kid's getting into internet marketing. But
yeah, he reached out to me just about a week ago or so.
Oh, okay, good.
Week and a half ago, yeah.
That's awesome. Really good at website building too.
Yeah, we should have him on the podcast because he's got some great insights into shooting.
Yeah.
As well as, a couple interesting things to know about marketing and social media and how that really works. Not what you think you're looking at.
He blew my mind. We stayed up till like 2 or 3 in the morning a couple nights and just talking about marketing strategies and things like that. And we deconstructed Hackett and put it together as this whole new package. And 2020 is going to be really cool with how we're presenting things and some of the products that we're coming out with to complement our presentation. So
cool.
Absolutely.
Well, that sounds like good stuff.
Yeah.
What else? Anything?
That's all I've really got.
Well, how about that? We're
sponsored by who again? The Blue Crush.
Well, today's a Blue Crush, but we should announce you've got to go try Lemba artisanal rums and spirits. LEMBA. Great guys, great product. Some wonderful recipes just float around. If you've got the Agricole, that's 50-50 with pineapple juice, and that is devastating. But today we're finishing off that the Blue Crush. That what is that? Rum, gin, vodka.
I call it go-go juice. So.
Yeah.
I guess the one more thing too. We touched on it briefly before we started the podcast, but these new like off-road bicycles that are like electric coming out. Those things are crazy. Like there was a couple at SHOT Show, like 2 different brands, but the one we were talking about earlier, I'm not sure, was at SHOT Show. I think it's like Super 73, I think it's called. Is that what it is?
I think so. Yeah. I'm looking for it right now through all my stuff here.
But
Super 73.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. They've got like a bunch of different versions, and it's a bicycle too.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Because then when the copper stops, you'd be like, hey, yo, it's a bicycle, bro.
Yeah. This whole electric bike movement is pretty big right now
fun.
too. Yeah,
it's fun.
I've got a buddy who owns a cargo bike company that has electric cargo bikes, and seeing these off-road things come out, really appeals to guys like us. I could see that being good for the ranch and like good for our farm up north.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
They're not that expensive either.
No, they're more expensive than you'd like to spend.
Yeah,
but. It's a modern battery pack, so you're not going to have it for a year. You'll have it for 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And you won't have any problems with it.
I think you'd get your money's worth easily.
I think so. But there I went with the electric bike movement, as long as you've got a use for it, if you're commuting, I think it's great. Something for on the ranch, that's wonderful because it's quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Then again, I'm not so sure I'd want something quiet.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
I think I'd want something more along the lines of an
Hey, I'm coming.
2000s era 2-stroke.
I could see a bunch of Broncos on there, too.
I think I would definitely want at least to let the wildlife know that I'm coming, because I don't typically want to be either running into them or having one try and maul me.
That's what the mounted Gatling gun's for, though.
That's kind of hard to do while you're getting mauled by a mountain lion.
Yeah.
Now everyone's like, what?
Mountain lion, what?
Yeah, that scared the crap out of Ryan the other day. We found the mountain lion paw prints in the snow. He's like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, it's just a cat print. And he's like, what do you mean a cat? That thing's huge. That's big. It's half the size of your foot. I'm like, yeah. Uh-huh. He'll be gone by the time we, build the clubhouse and everything. But nonetheless, it's pretty cool to know that there's a mountain lion hanging out on the property.
He's protecting.
Mm-hmm. He is.
Keeping guard.
I wonder. I just kind of sit there and I'm like, wow, pretty. Everyone's like, oh wow, that's really great. That's cool. And I'm like, yeah, until I get mauled.
Right.
And then go to jail for shooting an protected species. No, thank you.
Right.
I could really do without that.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on the podcast. If anybody wants anything from Hackett, use code Hackett20 to get 20% off.
Yep, I'll put the link back in there, so
okay, cool.
You can go into the show notes, and it'll be there, as well as it's over on the other show, too.
Yep.
So that's it, but you still got 20% there. Oh, we didn't talk about the chain gun, did we?
I was trying to lead you into that, but you didn't take the bait.
All right, so this is what we're going to depart with, everybody. So go, sugar plums dance in your head over this. It's called the Hunter Wolf, and it's an electronic 6-wheel
cool
buggy. It looks like a tank, and it's all remote controlled. All right, so it's a land drone. Think of it that way. All right, so this is a land-based thing, and it's got a Centurion gun on it. Well, I wouldn't call it a Centurion gun. Well, yeah, I would.
Like a turret gun.
Yeah, it's a turret gun, and it's a 30-millimeter chain-fed, single barrel. So I guess it wouldn't be a chain gun. It's a single barrel, 30-millimeter belt-fed, fully automatic. Chug, 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 chug. And this thing will just decimate.
The chopper.
The chopper. And it just decimates anything. And what it is you set it up, and anything that moves in this area or quadrant, It'll just automatically lock on, get confirmation from an operator, and then of course the operator hits the unlock button, trigger squeeze, chug 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 from across the globe, and there it is. So it's a land-based heavy artillery item. But this harks me. I was telling you earlier that in the early 90s, I saw one of these hooked to a 50 BMG.
Oh, wow.
And it was a Centurion gun. And I don't know who came first. This was in the movie Aliens, or it was in real life. It was a smoky thing because it got cut out of the movie.
Oh, it did? Okay.
Yeah, it got totally cut out of the movie. But it was an actual item because I remember seeing it at a defense show in Florida. It was set up in the corner, and it was a simple IR grid, and anything that broke the beam, it knew what beam got cut. So it was very primitive. Remember, we're back in the 1990s. It was very primitive, and the beam got cut, the gun would swing over and just chug, 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 put 4 or 5, 6 rounds, whatever it was programmed to do, and it was a big clunky.
You don't want to be in front of it.
No, and I think one of the things that really put the nail in the coffin for this thing and put it back up on the shelf or anything was that it could not discriminate between friendly or enemy. So no matter what crossed the beam, if it was a deer, chug 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 chug, and you'd give away the position, done.
Yeah.
If it was your squad coming in to relieve your post, chug 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 chug, take out the entire squad.
I can see some problems going there.
Yeah, let's say Johnny forgets that this thing is there, or John Q. Private runs out there and goes to take a squirt in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Chug, 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 chug. Well, he's cut in half too. So it really, but now it's totally like all lighter laser controlled. It's a very high-tech piece of equipment, and
so they re-released it, or were they just kind of showing it off?
No, this is a brand new product.
This is brand new.
Brand new product by a brand new company.
Wow.
And it's called the Hunter Wolf. And who makes this thing? I gotta find
That's
this.
crazy, man.
Because I know it's an FN gun that's on it, but
hopefully it knows how to read your passport before
Oh, here's a 5-minute YouTube video on it. Taking a. What this reminds me of? Kind of is more like the. What was that movie with Bruce Willis and he had blonde hair? And
he had hair?
Yeah, little glasses, and he was being chased by this like Northern Irish guy, and it was played by Richard Gere. Okay.
Someone listening's got to know.
Yeah, somebody's got to know this, and it's driving me nuts. And there was a whole thing. It was a remake of an old movie. What was it called? He was an assassin. Somebody right now is in their car or in their headphones screaming in the middle of a crowd right now going, "You dummy, it was this!" What was the Jackal.
Okay. Oh, Jackal.
Jackal, yeah. And he had something very similar that he set up with his laptop and a pen and a big, huge Canon video camera, and he was going to assassinate like the director of the FBI or the first lady or somebody, and had this big, huge 27 millimeter, fully automatic cannon in the back of a minivan.
Oh my gosh.
And that's what this thing reminds me of. Just watching it fire is just like,
have you seen the grassy knoll?
Look, there's just a little there's a little flash of light and there's a puff of pink smoke. Yeah. So that's what it looks like. It's the Hunter Wolf.
Okay.
Who does this thing? Because it's like a mule. It's like a modern mule. HDT Global. So some sicko decided to take this new electronic.
Oh wow! Look at that. That is crazy. It's like a Wisconsin Dells duck turned
cargo carrier, right? Some sicko decided to take the new mule, the new Army mule, and mount a big heavy gun on it and just park it out in the middle of a freaking desert.
Wow!
It says, "Come this way, commie pinko." So that was the ending, and then
you should link to that in the.
I'll put it. All right, I'll put it there. HDT.
It's really quite interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. So that one made its way around SHOT Show like crazy. I took pictures of it, but I didn't get on it. I guess
Yeah.
I should have, and that would have been pretty funny. But, so that's about it, man, for me.
Hey, well, we kept the podcast under 3 hours this time, so we did a good job.
We did. We're just right there at the whatchamacallit, at that hour 20 mark. So
Not
I
bad.
think, remember, guys, if you have any questions, you can reach out to us at membership@1881ranch.com, 708-803-1881 if you have any questions. Greg at HackettEquipment.com. And what else? You got Hackett20 for a discount code. So
Yep.
run over there, get yourself a Rifle Burrito or a Big Bertha bag. That's about it, guys.
Sure.
Yeah. So I think that wraps us up for episode 14. SHOT Show post-game wrap-up, part 2. Yeah. Greg, Will,
Thank you.
we're out of here. See you, buddy.
Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in to another installment of Home on the Range. Remember, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Till next time, stay wild and true to your heart.